Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are checking in from. Thank you for being here today. And thank you for checking in with today's live, wherever you're joining here. We're on Facebook, on Instagram, YouTube, or even Twitter. Thank you so much for being here today because you've probably caught the headline, which is about how to foster and actually create these incredible teams, particularly creating effective teams because probably let me ask you here this question. How many of you want to play a bigger game in your life? How many of you want to actually help more people? How many of you want to make an impact in the world, right? Yeah, because whatever you want to do in your life, whether it's growing yourself or growing other people or helping other people, you will need a team. Because this is one of the things I always say to people who are looking in terms of becoming the best version of themselves. I always say to them this, look, if you have a goal in your life and you only need you to do it, your game is too small. You need to make sure that your game is big enough that you need a team. Because having a team, when you get more people involved who actually share the same passion as you or the same values, the same beliefs, the same wants, then with people, that's what really changes the world to become a better place. Because remember, like how I'm here with you, I'm very brutally honest because honesty is actually the highest value that I have, is this. I'm here so that I can change your life. And the reason I'm here to change your life is this. Because you want to learn, and all I can do is give value so that you can then apply it into your life to then change your life, to then change your family's life perhaps, then change your community's life, then change the city's life, then change the country, then the continent, then the world. But remember, it all started with one person. And this is why I'm here connecting with you. And thank you so much for everyone who is actually joining here live with me. Just put live in the chat or give me a wave at least just to let me know that you're here, and then I can interact with you as well. But essentially, what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today is what are the pitfalls of how to not create effective teams that do not grow, that do not help things, do not make the world a better place, do not help your business or your coaching business any better. And then if that's happening, what do you need to do right now to make sure that you are all moving in the right direction to get the same result? And that is to truly serve, to truly love people, to truly help make this world become a better place. Because how many of you realize that this world isn't actually very great at the moment? Yeah? How many of you realize that's not just like there's wars, right? There's recessions, right? Interest rates are going up. Everything, actually, and you say there's a lot of crime as well. Everything isn't actually very good right now. And we cannot rely on governments because, governments, although they do their best, and I'm grateful for that, but you look at the big entrepreneurs, the big businessmen, who have the teams and have the wealth to then make the changes in the world. And because they've done it, you can do it too. And this is where I want to share with you that first thing I want you to do right now is this. Whatever business, because here I am to coach you for businesses or coaching, or if you have a coaching business, whatever business you may have right now, or if you're not sure if you got one right now, I want you to firstly write down who do you want to help and why do you want to help them, right? And don't think that, I need to create something amazing like, reinvent the wheel or create a super new technique or be the next thing since sliced bread. It doesn't matter. It could be something so specific, but the key thing is you need to make sure that your niche is really narrow. And if you're really not sure, you have to think about this. What was your greatest problem in your own life? Because as soon as you know your greatest problem, you got the solution, then you'll know other people will probably have that problem. And that's why I would like you to just think about what's the greatest achievement or the greatest problem I had that I achieved and I got success out of. Because as soon as you've got that, then write down your why. Why do you want to help other people with that problem? Why is this a big problem if it's not dealt with, right? Because just think about it. The pain, the suffering, the consequences, the difficulties that you're going through that event. You needed help. And yet you may have got help, or you may have worked it out yourself, or whichever way you did it, you got to the solution. And now just think, how many other people need your help who've got that problem? Lots, right? And you were probably wishing, back then when it happened, I wish I had someone who could just tell me the answer. Then I wouldn't have suffered for so long. So write down what your why is. Then you know your purpose, right? Because once you've got your purpose, so I'll just give you a few seconds of that. Once you've got your purpose, then you truly know what you need to do to help. Because now you need to think about it. If you're coaching, if you're creating a business around it, you can't do it all by yourself. You are going to need a team of people that may have the same vision as you. They may have the same wants as you. They may want to see better outcomes in the world just like you. Because this is what happens when you don't have a team. You will burn out. And that's the short answer. You'll burn out. Because you cannot do everything at the same time. For example, where I am here, although yes, I'm coaching you, everything in the background, the finances, the planning, the strategy, HR, all those things, they're all done behind. I'm just a spokesperson to tell you, okay, these are the things that's happening in our lives or as a team's lives, and this is how we've learned, and this is how we want to help you too. But you also have to have that story where you can connect with people too. So that's why having your team, they must also understand you. Because if you don't have a team, or a team that understands you anyway, this is what's going to happen. There'll be a very distinct disconnect that they are just here just to watch the clock go around to then earn money. Right? And you kind of think, will they have as much energy as someone who actually really believes in what you do? Probably not, right? And this is why it's important to make sure that you are clear when you create your team, the type of people that you'd like, but more importantly, their character. Because there's nothing worse than having a team that's not aligned. Because if you're not aligned, you're disconnected. And if you're disconnected, the people that are disconnected from your values actually become toxic. And this is why I would say to people that you must make sure that in your hiring process, looking at your team, you must have the right characteristics. Because I'm actually very honest in my team when I'm hiring people. I don't need the smartest people, really. I also don't need the people who are most successful. I also don't need the people who got the most degrees. I also do not need the people that can speak the best or do public speaking. But what I tell you, what I do need are the people that are honest. The people who got values of actually wanting to grow, people wanting to learn. They want to improve themselves. Because once I understand what their characteristics are, and those are the things that I need from them, that's easy. The rest is easy, because the skills of public speaking, the skills of organization, the skills of doing software, they're all teachable. I can't change someone's character. And this is why you always must look at someone's character when you're going to bring them onto your team. Are they a person that does what they say they will do? Are they a person that aligns with your own values? So this is where, when I'm creating and building an effective team, we have something called a code of honor. How many of you heard of an incredible leader called Blair Singer? Blair Singer was my mentor as well, and he taught me this code of honor. And it's not a code of conduct, it's a code of honor, because it's about being honorable to each other. I will be on time. I will show up at every meeting. I will be honest. I will be open with all of my transactions. It's being open and honest, right? I will never abandon a teammate. And this is part of the code. And by knowing the code, right, and everyone's actually not only read the code, but they've signed and agreed to it. Now we're all aligned and said, look, we're all going to operate to this code to get to our goal. And this is why it's so important to be so aligned, because if you're not aligned, it's a bit like driving your car with a handbrake on. And when you're driving a car with a handbrake, yes, it will move very slowly, but just think about it. If you're the engine, you're working very hard to gain very little gain in the distance or where you want to get to. And it's basically it's gonna break you, because the business is the car. It will break you. The car will break. The brakes will break. The wheels may be damaged. Right? It will eventually break. And this is why it's so important to make sure everyone is aligned. If you create this whole vehicle of your coaching business, or if you're just a business owner, you create this whole vehicle, you would then know, actually, I need to make sure all of these pieces of the vehicle are aligned and working together, because if one piece is misaligned, what happens to the performance of the car? It may not perform how it's meant to, right? It may not accelerate at the speed that you want it to go to. And this is why I want you to make sure that when you're building your effective teams, you look at values, you look at beliefs, you look at the character. But what's more important here is not only have got the team members, of course. What's next after that is, of course, as the leader, you need to make sure that you are a role model. That every person in your team, they look up to you. They go, hey, it's Michael. I've got something to learn from him. And because just think about, okay, let me be very honest with you. Do you know when you have a business, right? You have two types of owners. And you choose which one you want to be. Number one is you can be the boss. And guess what a boss does? The behavior of a boss is this. They see their team member make a mistake, and guess what they do? They crush them. They crush them so badly that it makes them feel so small, because they want themselves as the boss to look so big. And that's the same concept as bullying. Crush them, destroy them. But I'm like, why would you destroy? But my thinking is, why would you destroy your own team member? They're here to help you. You destroy them for what? Yes, I get it. They make mistakes, but yes, if you've designed it as an owner, you would make sure they make very little mistakes at the beginning. So when they get more important tasks, they won't make big mistakes, because they would have learned at the very beginning. Because then, like I'm saying, this is a leader now. The other owner is a leader. A leader is the person that steps up at the front and says, look, I've done this. I want you to watch me. And you know, these are the things that you may struggle with, because I struggle with them too. And you're watching out for them, making sure that they learn, but you're not going to crush them. You're actually going to encourage them to get bigger. Because the difference here between a leader and a boss is a leader helps people grow, and a boss destroys. So with your team, you also need to be thinking now, am I building them or am I destroying them? Because one of the things a lot of business owners don't realize, I'm going to give you this extra tip here. Did you know that if you want to sell your coaching product or your service, yes, you will have a funnel of people that, oh yeah, these are the people that could potentially want my service, right? And then they will go deeper and deeper and deeper into your learning. They'll learn so much, then they'll actually become as good as you. And that's great. Those are the people you want, because those are the people you want to really, really help. But there's actually a second funnel. Guess what the second funnel is? It's your team. They start wide. These are the people that get the very easy, low risk tasks. If they want to know more about you and want to actually serve you more and serve your clients more, because they believe in your mission, they go to the next level, next level, next level. And you know, as they get deeper into the funnel, guess what? Then they become management. Then they become the directors, right? Then they will truly be able to help you. But you need to create that funnel by starting wide, of saying, actually, look at the character. And as they get better, then they get closer to you. But you must have that funnel. Because if you don't have the funnel, it means you don't have the process. And the processes are very, very simple, but because they essentially just mirror each other. You got the funnel for your clients, and then you have the funnel for your team. They mirror, because some of your clients may actually become your team members. Is that good or good? Because they already know how you operate and they want to join your team. So this is the thing, that when you come to creating your effective and building your team, number one is this. Write these down. Hire someone with the same values, beliefs, and character as you. First thing. Number two, create a system for them to learn. Right? Task 1, learn this. Task 2, learn this. Task 3, learn that. Right? Because then you're helping them grow. Number 3 is this. Make sure you're connected to them. Connected frequently, I'd say. Maybe you have a big team already. You might have managers. They will connect for you. You just need to connect to your managers, because as an owner, I only connect to 4 in my whole organization, and they then look after the rest. So you do need to connect with them. So you need to have meetings. I'll say a weekly meeting is really helpful. Then you still stay connected, and you know what's happening too. And then number 4, most important thing for your team, you need to ask. And you're thinking, Michael, ask what? You need to ask them where they are and what they need for their next step. Right? Because remember, it's about growth. Some of them may not know, but at least you must ask and at least say, okay, I see what you've achieved. I'd like to ask you what you think your next step is. And they'll tell you. And it may be wrong. Mind you, I'm not saying they're right. But what you need to be thinking is, whatever their next step is it aligned with what you need from them? Because in your mind, you might be thinking as the owner, no, actually, I think your next step is here, because these are your results. These are things you've learned really well. This is the next thing that will just take you to the next level. Because once you have that, you've then built up the whole system for them to grow within your own team. Because my entire team, it's all around the world. When I get to speak to a group of them on Zoom or sometimes I visit them, they're all very grateful that I spend the time to connect with them, because I value every one of them. I never say that there's not one of them that's more important than the other, because remember, in your vehicle, every piece, every nut, every bolt, every piece of metal is just as important as the driver. Just as important as the engine, the wheels, the brakes, because they all need to collaborate together to get you from A to B. If you understand that, but I get it in the chat, because now you understand it's about creating something. You will always, I'll be honest with you, when I'm here in my businesses, I think I'll always be part of it. The reason why, because I have a massive passion to help people. And that's my purpose in life, to help people. And if I suddenly stopped it, I think I would actually lose my true purpose in life. And I really want every one of you to be thinking about that in terms of what is your purpose in life. Because when you got your purpose, you need to think about how big can it get and what team members you need. And this is the importance of this video. Because once you get that, then you know what your next steps are. I mean, if you need to rewatch this video, this live again, essentially, you can then just rewatch the pieces that I spoke about in terms of the funnels, and do it as a checklist. Have I done that? Have I done that? Have I done that? Have I done that? Because once you've done that, you've already created your system, and you just need to follow it. It's really simple. And the key thing is, as the owner, be the role model. Connect with your team, because they are essentially your extra hands. They're your extra hands, or wherever you go, whatever you do, whatever you build, whoever you help, they will be your extra hands. Because the reason why I came into coaching is this. I could help people on a one-to-one, right? I could help them build, I could sit down with someone, build their business one-to-one. But to be honest, for me to really reach more people, I need to do one-to-many. And the only way I can do many is by increasing my team, because I can't do it by myself. And this is why I want to give you that challenge. Create your systems to onboard your team, the right character, so that you can then help more people. if you got that really clear in your mind, let me know. If you're struggling, you've got questions about it, put it in the chat. Happy to help you, because I look at them all, I'll comment and say, okay, maybe you need to look at this. Maybe you need to go a bit deeper with this. Because this is the great thing about these lives is you get access and you can ask the questions. Because I always say to people, if you don't ask, you do not get. So ask the questions. I really hope that you got a lot of value from this live today. And of course, put in the comments if you learned a lot, let me know what you learned. And then I'll comment and I'll share what I think your next step will be as well. So thank you so much for being here today. And you know what? Because this month is all about building. This is the building block. So next week, I'm also going to be talking about building. And I look forward, if you're here, I look forward to sharing again some more of my experiences to help you build your own business or your own coaching business to the next level by having the right frameworks so that you don't trip over yourself and make big mistakes along the way. So again, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Dr. Michael Lee, and I just want to wish every one of you an incredible Friday and enjoy your weekend too. Bye for now.